We begin tonight with a major shakeup in the contentious race for California's next governor. President Trump is now endorsing Republican Steve Hilton. Good evening, I'm Steffi Roche.
And I'm Steve Price. The president's move could reshape the Republican field and the path to the November election, which is filled with Democratic nominees struggling to outshine each other.
CBS 8's Richard Allen is here with more on how this show of support could impact the outcome of June's primary. Richard?
Well, that's right, guys. Leading up to President Trump's endorsement of Republican Steve Hilton, Californians had been eyeing the possibility of two Republican candidates advancing to the general election, with a crowded Democratic field splitting the vote under the state's top two primary system. But now some political analysts say that scenario may be off the table.
This is not just any other state. California means to America what America means to the world.
Steve Hilton, a British-born former Fox News contributor who became a U.S. citizen in 2021, has now secured the backing of President Trump, who wrote on Truth Social that he is a truly fine man, one who has watched as this once great state has gone to hell, adding, quote, "Steve can turn it around before it's too late, and as president, I will help him to do so."
The question now is going to be whether or not Donald Trump's endorsement will consolidate support around Steve Hilton.
News 8 political analyst Wendy Patrick says this endorsement likely secures at least one Republican candidate for governor in the November election.
Many people might have thought would have two in the general election. Now that President Trump has weighed in, even if GOP voters coalesce around Steve Hilton given the endorsement, we're still going to at the very least have one candidate come November.
While Democratic voters outnumber Republican voters here in California by about 2-1, polls show that the two Republican candidates, Steve Hilton and Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, are polling at the top of the primary race. That's largely because of a crowded Democratic side with no clear frontrunner. Right now, Eric Swalwell, Katie Porter, and Tom Steyer are all polling in the double digits. Trump's endorsement, though, could drive Republican support toward Hilton and away from Bianco, paving the way for a Democratic challenger in November.
This is a very interesting development, and here's why. Donald Trump is not particularly popular amongst the general election electorate in California. He's popular amongst Republicans, but then Hilton has to pivot to the middle, and in pivoting to the middle, does he get that middle-of-the-road California voter?
Patrick also questions whether Hilton's messaging on some of the biggest issues in California, from cost of living to affordable housing to homelessness, might also make a difference.
Those are some of the issues that might complicate whether President Trump's endorsement of Steve Hilton is going to automatically coalesce support, or whether there might also be Democrats that might vote Republican simply because they agree with some of the same kitchen table issues.
And a recent Emerson College poll shows that a full 25% of voters are still undecided at this point, meaning it is anyone's game. At this point, mail-in ballots will start going out next month. The primary set for June 2nd, Steve.
Richard, this has to be a blow to Chad Bianco, right? So have we heard from him? What does he think about this
He's spoken up
endorsement?
on social media, in fact, and it is surprising that the endorsement didn't go to him. Chad Bianco has been one of President Trump's most vocal, most loyal supporters. So it was a little bit of a surprise that it went to Hilton instead. Today, though, Bianco said that he was not deterred by losing this endorsement. He said on Instagram, this election belongs to the people, not the political class. And, obviously, he is continuing to run.
Well, I think Democrats are cheering.
I think they are.
President Trump got involved because there was a lot of nervousness there.
I think this reshapes the entire race right now.
All right, Richard, thank you.
We'll see.